I'm getting mine Saturday, hopefully.
I haven't had a haircut since
Nom.
it feels like it. I haven't had a haircut since June of last year.
Come on, dude. Where's your? It's not live, bro.
We're live.
There it is.
We're recording
There
now.
she is.
We're here. You like that background?
It's black. Oh, no, sorry. Never
Dude,
mind.
that's
It was a
that's
black. It was
dude.
no. It was a
Remember,
black screen.
there's some things that we're not allowed to say. Remember?
No, it is a black screen. I swear. It was a black screen. You could tell by the reflection. Should have
Sure, it
shaved.
was.
Eddie Murphy laugh.
What is
His
the
greatest movie
what is the
is
best?
Beverly Hills Cop 3 and Golden Child. Two best movies.
Do we count animated? Because Shrek is
Shrek,
up
I know.
there,
I know.
and what else? Mulan.
Um,
Remember, he's Mushu.
he's the dragon.
Yep. I
Wasn't he
think
in something else?
Norbert, Doctor Doolittle.
Was it Norbert or Norbit?
That's probably Norbit. It's like sherbet. People put an R in it, even though there's only one R in sherbet.
Norbit 2007. Oh yeah, it was a great one.
Bowfinger, he was in that. That movie with oh gosh, Steve Martin is probably one of his most underrated movies.
Was that Bowfinger?
Yeah, Bowfinger.
Oh yeah, I used to
Where
have that on
like
VHS.
I'm gonna get you, sucker. Like he actually, I think he played himself or whatever. Like I don't think it was like Eddie Murphy, but he played the star, and they were trying to hunt him down to shoot a movie around his everyday activities, and like it's just funny, just like he's
Oh, they
going
found a guy
randomly.
that looked like him.
Yeah, they
Yes,
found
I
a guy
remember.
who he looked exactly like. He did all the stunts while he was doing the normal everyday, interactions with whatever, and they would just catch his real life reactions to those actors who actually, were on the payroll or whatever. It was a very, um,
It was a different movie.
bare bones project or whatever.
Yeah, he Steve Martin's character would save the dollar every week since he was like 5. So he had like $2,000 or $3,000 to put away, and he had to use that for his budget or whatever. I remember
Yeah,
that.
his budget. All right, man.
And then the chick from the spy who shagged me was in it.
Heather Graham.
I forgot. Sure.
He was also in. I was about to say Deuce Bigelow, but that's not right. It was Boogie Nights. All right, ready?
That's two different movies.
Two very different movies. All right,
Two decent movies.
let's start this in 5.
5, 4.
Hey, everybody. Welcome to the Movie Review. I am one of your hosts, Charlie Zarzuela, and I'm with my brother from the same mother. We got Josh Henderson as well. What's up, brother?
What's up, brother?
Nothing
We're gonna
much,
do a lot of
man.
brother.
Huh?
We're gonna see brother a lot.
Yeah,
Aren't we?
there's gonna be a lot of brotherly love on this brother cast, but
We're not from Philly. Okay.
no,
great.
we are not. We're colored though.
There we go.
Yeah, we've been talking about this a long time, and we wanted to start up a little podcast series, which pretty much centrals or circulates around movies, man. Movies that we love, movies that you love, movies that you may not love or like. You may hate them, but we're going to talk about them anyway. gosh, like what we've been talking about this for like a while, just hemming and hawing off and on or whatever, and
6 months.
you know, things just kind of like pushed the envelope in the last month or so with the craziness of COVID and snowstorms and everything. And we are going to carpe diem. We are going to seize the day because we don't want to be 60 and 45 and say that we didn't try this thing out. So,
60 and 45.
well, more like 60 and 52.
Yes.
But yeah, if you are looking at our stream live, we've got this really, really nice wallpaper behind us, like right there, right there. And we are going to be reviewing the 2021 movie Coming to America.
All right.
Before we go into this, have you ever seen the first one?
Yes, absolutely. And in fact, I watched it 4 weeks ago when I had COVID.
Was it the first time you watched it, or
No. I had seen it many times. I actually saw it with Dad a few times.
Oh yeah.
He randomly has it on TV. So
see the TV version.
Yeah.
Gosh, it does not do like the real life version justice. Obviously, you don't get to see any of the good bits on the TV broadcast and stuff, and they
Right.
take away the curse
Especially on
words
Freeform.
and- oh gosh, yeah, they take away pretty much everything on Freeform nowadays. But that's fair.
Especially the Samuel L. Jackson part where he's robbing McDowell's.
Oh gosh, yeah. Like you want to talk about curbing someone's artistic intellect without having them use their bread and butter
Curse words.
anger voice. Yeah,
Right.
because I mean that's what he's well renowned for.
Yep.
I actually have one of his books his audiobooks. Go the F to sleep.
Right. Is it good?
It's hilarious. It's a nursery book. It's like it's
Oh,
a father
I know
reading,
that.
like basically in the style of reading to your son or daughter to let them go to F to sleep, and it's hilarious. Like I think there's several books like that where it's a lullaby, but at the same time it's eat your effing salad or something like that of that lines or anyway. But
So you have the book. Did you read it to your son?
I didn't read it. I listened to it. Like I don't think I could have
okay.
done it justice. We
Right.
bought it at the office like several years ago, but when I listened to it, oh my gosh, I was crying at my desk laughing. I mean, it's only like 6 to 10 minutes long. It's not that very long
Right.
at all, and it's the contradiction between having this calming, soothing voice trying to coddle a baby to sleep, and then all of a sudden F-bomb this and S-bomb that, and it's awesome. But anyway, we're not here to talk about books. We're here to talk about movies, and the movie we got for you guys in store tonight to start us off on this podcast journey is Coming to America.
Not Coming to America Part 2. But can you hear me?
I can hear you.
Oh, okay, great.
Got a little music going, but it's okay.
Oh, my bad.
You're fine. You'll get this. But yeah,
Folks, I can't hear the music.
it is called
Alright.
Coming to America, with the moniker number 2. It recently came out not too long ago, at the beginning of March on Amazon. Gosh, a sequel 33 years in the making, it seems like. The original coming out in 1988. This film was budgeted at $60 million. Amazon Prime, though, purchased it for just around $125. So the company basically doubled their money. But it's kind of funny. I looked up the facts regarding the original movie Coming to America from 1988. It's earned up to this day close to $300 million at worldwide box office, which basically equates to about $660 million today. So it's a very successful, I guess, budding series. I guess you can't really call it a series until there's like a third one. But yeah, man, the sequel. I'm trying to figure out how we are going to tackle these items. You want to dig into the story a little bit before we dive into like the minutia of everything?
Sure. From what I understand, it's he's Eddie Murphy, Akeem.
King
as
Akeem.
King Akeem.
No, Prince
yes,
Akeem.
That's true.
Well,
no, he's Prince Akeem
yeah.
until unfortunate things happen. Spoiler alert.
Spoiler.
Yep.
Spoiler.
Yep. James Earl Jones, his father in the movie, passes away. But anyway, before he passes away, he tells Akeem, his son, he's got a son. He did not know that. He has a bastard son who's about 30 years old. Mm-hmm. And apparently he met up with some chick, had a baby, didn't know it, and then he has to go back to America, coming to America.
Yeah.
There you go. But the funny part is that's the only part where he's actually in America, except for the end of it. But we'll go into that later on. So, but yeah, that's basically the whole story. And then trying to make him turn into the next king, to a prince, per se. So, and of course, there's some conflict because he's got 3 daughters. Akeem has 3 daughters, and the oldest daughter really wants to be queen. So, and she's proven herself. And by the way, that character is perfect for like a Black Panther movie. She should be in the next Black Panther movie, just because the way her fighting style and everything. I mean, she would work perfect, I think. Mm-hmm. She may be an extra already. I don't even know, but I haven't looked it up. But would you agree with that, judging by how she like fights with that stick or whatever, that fighting stick?
Oh, I mean, yeah, like to dive into that part of the movie, definitely. It seems like their daughters have been born and bred to be Zamunda, their country, Zamunda warriors or whatever, and it's a very patriarchal society where although Prince Akeem has curbed tradition by not marrying who he was chosen to marry. He went to America in the first movie, picked out his bride, destroyed all traditions there within. Well, then he goes back and, you're thinking like, okay, like Akeem's changed everything, and he's still going back to the tried and true, like we have to live by this tradition that was established by his father, James Earl Jones, who was King Jafi Jafar, and all the, fathers before them. And he's kind of falling into the line with the same thing. Obviously they're trying to set some type of conflict, but it's the idea that no woman can really ascend to the throne, that it's got to be a male heir. He gives the prince a lot of grief at the very beginning of the movie, like you never gave me a son, and obviously Prince Akeem's like, it is what it is, father, yada yada yada. Well, what was it? That witch doctor guy all of a sudden comes in.
Yeah.
Like that was played by Arsenio Hall.
He kept saying you have a bastard or something like that.
Yeah, he had a bastard son that was in America, and then you see a lot of flashbacks to the first movie, that they kind of cut in and cut out, and obviously I think they did like a little CG youth.
Man, that looked great. That looked like it came from the original movie.
I just,
you know what I'm saying?
They're getting so good that I think older actors, you're gonna keep finding them, youngerized or whatever. I don't even know how to refer to that.
Well, it's kind of like The Irishman. They did that with Joe Pesci. They did that with Robert De Niro and everything. How they do that, it's just it looks. But the way they move, you can kind of tell they're getting old. But going back to our movie. Yeah.
Oh yeah, it looks so clean, but. Yeah, so they go back there, they find Lavelle Johnson, who's played by Jermaine Fowler. He's I barely knew who this guy was. All I knew that he did this sitcom with Judd Hirsch on CBS called Superior Donuts. It was kind of that we need something to replace Big Bang Theory because Big Bang Theory is about to end, so we need something else, and that kind of never caught fire. So. So yeah, Lavelle Johnson is the bastard son of King Akeem, and Lavelle's mom, who is played by Leslie Jones from SNL and Ghostbusters. You like Leslie Jones?
Yeah, she's hilarious. She's one of the reasons why SNL is decent still. So
Oh my gosh, like I don't know, like I don't watch SNL anymore. Like I catch up on like the Californians whenever they do that bit.
Californians. That's a good skit. That's a good one.
I don't really watch any of the newer stuff. I've heard like it's the hits. There are more hits than misses lately. But when it
Right.
comes to just regular watch, I'm not there. But I've heard Leslie Jones was like really funny. And before I watched this movie, I heard like she steals the show, and she totally does that. Like,
Oh, yeah.
she comes into her own. She is honestly a lot of the reason I had laugh out loud moments. Speaking of moments, there are a lot of Easter eggs in this movie, that a lot of callbacks to the original movie.
I could point out some if you like.
Yeah, good. What do you got?
I was like wondering how are they going to bring back McDowell's, and they sure enough did. They have a McDowell's in Zamunda.
Yeah, it's
and
there.
look who it is. Louis Anderson's there, still working for him. I think it's Louis Anderson, right?
Yeah, from Baskets.
Yes.
That's the only thing I've seen.
Remember,
him in.
he was actually in Family Feud as well for a little bit.
Oh yeah, but
yeah.
yeah, I mean, it's kind of movies like this have to play this weird balancing act in regards to callbacks and what they want to include in the movie. I can see where, okay, Prince Akeem has left from America to come back to where he lived. He's super rich. But I guess he wanted to bring something from over there, and maybe Mr. McDowell still wanted to be the head of this corporation, and so they decided to open a McDowell's in Zamunda.
He married his daughter, so
No, sure, but like they wouldn't have to do anything anymore. Why did they have
that's
another?
true. Yeah.
Why did they have another McDowell? So there's definitely the McDowell's callback. There's the McFlurry callback. The comparisons between McDowell's and McDonald's. It's not.
Yeah.
Was it not the
Not the McMuffin. It's like the Mc something else or something.
Yeah, the McBiscuit or whatever. I don't know. I can't remember, but I remember like the McFlurby or whatever is not the same thing as the McFlurry. Like we put our
I was waiting for
toppings on the
Samuel L.
bottom.
Jackson. I was waiting for Samuel
Yeah.
Jackson to rob the place again, just as an older
Old man Samuel L. Jackson just shows up in Zamunda. No, so the big cameo that was not Samuel Jackson. Well, I guess maybe at the time Samuel L. Jackson was not big enough yet, but man, Blade, the original Blade, Wesley Snipes. He's not Blade in this. He is General Izzy from
General
Nextdoria. I thought that, I don't know, that to me was like, come on, you could have come up with a better name than Nextdoria, but that's picking.
Cheeto, it's
picking
because
nits.
it's next door. It's a town
What,
next
really?
door.
Okay. Oh.
Yeah, and then they added the IA.
Oh my god.
That way it seems like a town. Yeah.
Samsonite. I was way off.
So, what's his name? Oh my God, Michael Blackson introduces him at the beginning when you finally meet the General Wesley Snipes.
Yeah,
Whatever.
Michael Blackson.
Michael Blackson's big in. That's his name in. I guess I don't know if his real name is Michael Blackson, but he's the one who introduces Wesley Snipes' character.
Yeah.
Remember, he's like yelling and stuff like that.
Oh yeah.
He's actually in Wild and Out. That dude is actually very, very, very funny.
Oh really?
But well, the way they're dancing and everything, I was like, what in the world? Like, I don't know how to take this seriously or not, but it's all in good fun. I thought it was like Wesley Snipes did a good job as being that wacky dad general guy,
Yeah. And so basically, the idea is that I keep wanting to call him King. So yeah,
Prince Hakeem.
once Prince Hakeem has now become the king, obviously Wesley Snipes is, there's threats that he may cause an incursions and basically take over Zamunda himself by use of his military might. But he's like, oh, I gotta go to America to go get my bastard son, da-da-da-da-da. And so rather than have a war with Nextdoria, he's kind of bartered this, peace, treaty, I guess, of some sorts. And it would almost be mirror to the first movie where he would have his bastard son, Lavelle, and he would marry the daughter of General Izzy. Did you like that part of the story?
What, that storyline?
Yeah.
I mean, it's just copying the first one, but
that's
slightly different
I
way,
guess maybe that's my problem is that I was just like, that's literally the first movie. Like, come on, like we could have come in with something else, a little newer, but I guess
a lot of people, a lot of series or sequels or whatever is the same thing, just a little
sure. But they did bring back
salt or something.
They did bring back Prince Hakim's former intended, who was still barking.
Yes.
She was still hopping on one foot. I mean, honestly, like, over the course of this entire movie, it was a whole lot of callbacks that, made you laugh and made you feel all the nostalgic feels from the first movie that you enjoyed originally. And you just enjoyed it with a different type of flavor. So, yeah, Lavelle comes in. I'm sorry, go ahead.
Mm-hmm. I felt like the whole movie was callbacks.
Oh, yeah.
Versus more laughter. Like, I was doing this, oh, yeah, versus that, like, laughing my ass off. So I'm just like,
I will say I didn't laugh my ass off. But it was just like,
I thought it was neat.
Yeah. Like, it was very funny. Like, okay, let me pull that back. It was funny, but it was not like, my stomach didn't hurt after the fact. And I appreciated, one, for people who are listening and watching the movie Bro Review. I'm sorry, the movie Review. I'm going to learn how to pronounce that. Say it. The movie Review. I don't want to say I give a pass on a lot of things, but I do look at it from several different angles. Because there's a lot of people who put a lot of hard work into making movies. You have the writing, you have the technical, you have the execution, you have the actors. You have a lot of stuff that is going into this. And you have time. It's hard to put together a sequel with actors and actresses who were 33 years older. The times are 33 years older. Like, you have the fact that you have to kind of imagine all these characters 33 years later or whatever in their storyline and where they're at to conjure up a good plot. That's very challenging. I would say, like, if a sequel had come out in, say, 1995, I would judge a movie like this a little more harshly. But, it's like you said, this entire movie is all about callbacks and nostalgic feels. Like the Babar moment. Oh, it was good. It was nice to see Babar was a full-grown elephant now, instead of a piano. And there was new things, like there was the right to become prince. Lavelle had to pluck the whiskers off a lion, without getting hurt. And obviously, like, Prince Akeem's like, I did my first try. Yeah.
Before that, how did you feel about him bringing up a line? Yeah, America, all they do is come up with movies 30 years later with sequels that are basically the same thing. Like whatever he said to that barber chick or that salon chick.
The salon girl?
Like, yeah, the salon girl. Yeah.
I mean, it's making fun of itself. Like, it's definitely like breaking the fourth wall and self-awareness of like, oh yeah, but there are exceptions, Like, it's kind of true that, a lot of the movies nowadays that are reigning supreme are superhero movies. Like, that's what people want to go see.
Oh yeah, that's what he said too.
Or their remakes, like you're talking about. You want to talk about remake? Leslie Jones was in the Ghostbusters remake with all female leads.
Yeah, so. I didn't see that yet. I heard it was terrible. So
another person that we kind of forget and gloss over who was in this movie was Tracy Morgan, the uncle.
Yeah.
it's nice
What
to
you talking about? Yeah.
I like Tracy Morgan a lot. It's nice to see him kind of back into acting and stuff like that. Ever since he had that
He's hilarious.
major accident, he was awesome on 30 Rock.
Oh god, it was awesome.
He's so
he
good.
made that show.
He's so
besides
good.
Alec Baldwin.
But it's nice to see him like kind of like wetting his toes again back into like I guess what you would consider the mainstream. I don't know. Everything's so weird since the pandemic or whatever. Kind of why we're starting this now, because it seems like Hollywood is about to hit the ground running, and so are we.
Oh,
But
man, it's gonna be great.
so yeah, back to the story. Lavelle gets the whiskers from the lion, and then I'm sorry, this was a huge funny fart for me where he had to prove his manhood. And basically he was about to get his manhood shellaxed in front of everyone, and I was like, okay.
Oh yeah.
They started showing the foreskins of all like the previous.
And then that old man ate a little piece of it.
God, that was so bad. And it ended up being like
Arsenio Hall does a good job as that old man.
Yeah.
He's a weirdo. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, let's talk about that for a second. Like, so obviously, this movie is not just about all like the callbacks. I mean, it is all about the callbacks. But what makes this movie so unique is that in the first movie, as well as this movie, a lot of the characters are played by Arsenio Hall and Eddie Murphy.
Mm-hmm.
So, I mean, the witch doctor's played by Arsenio Hall and stuff, and so he did a really good job of that.
We forgot something, Cheeto. We forgot to go back to the barbershop in Queens.
I was about to say that.
All of those... Man, oh, okay,
I was
there you go.
literally
Sorry.
I was about to say that. The barbers,
Yeah.
it was nice to see them
What's up, Mufasa?
pop up. I know, right? It's Kunta Kinte!
It's cool, the good thing.
No,
that old Jewish guy, I guess. And
yeah.
Yeah.
And they even brought the third barber. I forget what his name is or whatever.
Yeah, he's the
one
same
who,
guy, but yeah, I know what you're talking about. Yeah.
the one who challenges him like for meeting Martin Luther the King. But
Right.
yeah, it was nice to see them like out of their element. They were doing the same things that one does. I'm saving the last one for last.
That did make me laugh. The barbershop did make me laugh a lot.
Well,
because I was like, wow, this is hilarious.
They brought them back, and then later when Lavelle kind of finds out that this was kind of a plan to get him to marry the daughter of General Izzy, that he was like, no, I like the salon girl. I want to take her back with me to America, and like I don't want to be part of this plan. Like you're trying to force me into marriage. Very, very similar to the first movie, which I get. So he goes back there and like they go to like this chapel.
That preacher?
The crack chapel, basically. And we got the Arsenio Hall preacher. Oh my God. Like I thought that preacher looked old the first time.
Yes, Lord. Yes. Oh yes. Lord have mercy.
If this is wrong, I don't want to be right.
Don't want to be right.
But yeah, no, oh my gosh, like, so seeing him back was really, really cool. And then obviously Prince Akeem goes back, tells his son that he's sorry, that he didn't even realize that he was just doing them wrong, like his father was doing to him in the first movie. So he's like, we can't do this here. And, well, actually, the salon girl's like, we can't have this wedding here. Like I'm from Zamunda, I'm from that land or whatever. We need to do this right. And Prince Akeem agrees. They go back. Well, amidst all this, General Izzy is trying to figure out where everyone's at. Like he was promised a wedding to get, to get to the countries to ally with themselves. And all of a sudden they're like, the eldest daughter, who she's been fighting for the throne all her life. Like that's why she's such a badass warrior. Like women of this country, like a lot of countries, and you could say it mirrors, modern society, but she has to fight twice as hard to gain the respect of her father. And through a whole action sequence with a lot of ass kicking, she basically fends off Wesley, General Izzy, and basically was like, no, this is my country. You're not taking it over. either you promise us peace or I will end you here, basically. He's like, oh, you're good, and he bows, just he gives it up, willingly. So she's proven, to be a very, very strong leader.
Right.
So Lavelle goes back to Zamunda. They get married, and obviously Prince Akeem has seen the error of his ways. He's like, he goes to his eldest daughter, and he basically promises her the throne. Like, she's going to be the next one, which is cool. Like,
the queen.
She's going to be the next queen of Zamunda. But like we were saying earlier, this is the movie of callbacks, and when they announced,
oh yes,
the great, I loved how they announced, like, oh, this is, this great musical performing act is coming on, and the salon girl's like, oh, you got Beyonce, oh, you got this,
you got Gladys Knight,
yeah, you got Gladys Knight, who was in the movie, by the way.
You got Diana Ross,
yeah, she did class Diana Ross. No, it's Randy Jackson.
Randy Watson.
Oh my God. Yeah, I'm sorry, not Randy Jackson from
Randy Jackson from American
Idol. Yeah, Randy Watson. And
that's gonna be a no for me, dog.
Sexual chocolate. Oh my gosh. And they're like, what?
Randy Watson. And he was singing. I forgot what he was singing, to be honest with you. It was a common song from the back in the day.
Oh my gosh, it was so good, and just that reveal, and you even had the barbershop guys there. There was a little blurb from Lavelle's mom, Leslie Jones. She was like, we're gonna bring a little bit of Queens to Zamunda, and I guess that was a little bit of Queens that they brought over. And, of course, he had the line, he good.
He good.
And actually, this time around, like, he was a lot better than the original, from the original movie. But, I don't know. So what's your final take on this?
It's a good movie. It's a good callback. I think because of our age, we watched the original one, and have all those memories from watching the original one, right?
Mm-hmm.
And all those callbacks. Because of our age, I think would appreciate it more than your younger crowd having to watch the old one and the new one, of course. I think it's perfect. It went to Amazon Prime. I don't think it would have been successful in the box office with that money, doubling their money automatically, basically.
Oh my gosh, yeah.
But I think it's a good streaming movie. I don't think I would have actually seen it until it was like on TV. You know what I'm saying? If it was at the theater and then DVD or Blu-ray, and then on TV, I would have watched it until it's on TV, probably. So I'm glad I got to watch it though.
100% agree with you. If this was a movie that came out in the theaters, I would have waited. Maybe the hype or the talk by the water cooler might have attracted me to the theaters. However, I was just like, this is the perfect movie to come out straight to Prime, to be honest.
Mm-hmm.
Something that you can absorb, you can laugh at, with a nostalgic feel to it. But at the same time, I don't know if I'd watch it again. I may watch it another time just to see, like, okay, and it's on. Like, it's one of those things, like, it's kind of passing. And you're like, oh, I remember watching this the first time around. The wife and I watched it, and she didn't particularly care for it too much. Like, she feels exactly how kind of we do. I was a little more higher in my regards to it, but yeah, it was okay. It was like okay to good. You know what I mean?
Right. Like if you had to give a grade to it, I'd give it like a 75%.
Yeah, I was gonna say C plus. I'd give it a good like C plus, maybe a C. Yeah. And that is our movie review of Coming to America. Next up, we've got some. We got a movie pre-review, if you want to call it, of sorts, and another review of 2020's Spider-Man: No Way Home. So we're going to go ahead and get into it. But before we get into that, let's go ahead and get into our movie review of Coming to America. Next up, we got a movie pre-review, if you want to call it of sorts, and another review of products that are close and near and dear to our hearts. We are all about the MCU. We are all about superheroes on this channel.
Absolutely.
Oh my gosh, like
Absolutely.
ever since 2008, well, gosh, ever since Marvel started making
2000.
movies, I've just seen all my superheroes, all the characters that I've read in my comic books come to life before my eyes and just tantalize my fantasies and my dreams. And just like, I'm like, they're doing they're all moving. They're all talking. It's great. But we're in 2021, and after a year of not having any of that, gosh, like it was literally the black hole of movies. Shoot, it was the black hole for all movies last year. I can't believe there were. They said that there were about 300 eligible movies to be awarded to earn awards this year from Golden Globes and the Oscars. I don't know where they were shown, but
Best Picture, Sonic. No.
it was really good. Sonic was really, really good. I did a review
Haven't
of
seen it
that
yet.
on
I'll
a
have to
different
watch
podcast.
Yep.
But man, so we're gonna go into the movie pre-review of Falcon and Winter Soldier. That is coming up. Gosh, it airs starting tomorrow. On Disney Plus. You excited for this?
Maybe. I am more excited about this than I was about WandaVision. I respect WandaVision, but we'll talk about that later on. We're talking about Falcon Winter Soldier. I am super excited. I like things that are grounded with guns and flying and just craziness. And I'm looking forward to. I think I'm going to guess this because they did this with WandaVision. They're probably going to do some callbacks as far as Falcon's history and maybe what happened with Winter Soldier. That's what I'm guessing. Okay. But I did watch the trailers, and I'm going to love the back and forth because we got a little bit of that in Civil War when they were sitting in the vehicle, that little tiny car. Can you move your seat? And Sam Wilson, Falcon, he's like, no. And then Winter Soldier just finally moves over.
Oh my gosh. Yeah, buddy cop, man. It's going to be like Lethal Weapon with
Getting too old for this shit.
powers. Yeah. Well, like it just doesn't seem like it's going to be those two. We've got Baron Zemo, who is he's highly wanted. Last we left him, he was left in that little cage with Shield. So I'm interested to see how he jumped ship.
Yes.
It looks like a lot of the
I forgot about
trailers.
that.
He is out and about, and he's getting into nefarious stuff. But mostly, the big thing about this series is, if you haven't watched Endgame, I'm sorry. I'm about to spoil the end of it.
Oh, no,
that's
wait.
your fault. Yeah, no, wait. Let me go back. I'll be back in like 3.5 hours. Captain America goes back in time, lives the life that he wanted to live with Marty McFly. Marty! With Peggy
1.21 gigawatts.
with Peggy Carter, and he's an old man now. He passes the shield to Falcon, which Falcon takes reluctantly. Is it like it's that famous line? Like how's it feel? He's like it feels like it belongs to someone else. And he's like it doesn't. And so, obviously there was a lot of murmurs in regards to like, why is he passing it to Falcon? Winter Soldier, Bucky, is his, it's his best. That's his best friend, man. He caused a civil war between all the heroes because of Bucky.
Well, it was the Sokovia Accords as well.
Oh no, he did.
I'm just kidding.
It was
I'm
the
kidding,
Soviet.
Chico, I know.
It was definitely the Sokovia Accords, but like his hunt for Winter Soldier, is what divided the entire team.
100% agree. Right,
Like,
100% agree. I was just kidding.
He's after this known assassin and vigilante, and obviously worked for Hydra. But if you want more details into that, watch Winter Soldier. It's one of the best MCU movies.
I think it's up top 5.
Oh gosh,
For
easily.
sure.
but yeah, like to see those two, like how they kind of interacted with each other, starting in Civil War, and then going into Infinity War. I'd love to see. I've like just looking at the trailers, it's hilarious. Like they've got this really cool kind of chemistry with each other, um, that really does get that buddy cop feel to it.
And then I do like you should, for those of you who've seen the trailer, they have like a staring contest, and I don't know who they're talking to, maybe a counselor or something. I don't know, and they're just staring at each other.
Yeah.
They're not blinking, and then the lady's like, "Oh gosh, just blink for gosh sake! God, you guys are like kids or something like that." But I'm gonna love that chemistry between them. And then a little insider, I found out Chris Evans is not coming back.
Okay.
So per Kevin Feige, and supposedly there's some sort of date that's coming up soon that he has to make a decision to make a new contract to come back or something.
Sure.
But I don't know if I want him back or not. I would need to see this show first, or this movie slash show first, I guess, because it's in the MCU. That's why we were able to talk about it.
I like Chris Evans a
So we'll
lot,
see.
but for them to move forward, you know, things have to
Right.
be put left down behind. And I think
Hmm.
the fact that he's already gone back in time, he's already an old man technically in this timeline. You know, they can always do like when
A
the Young
nod.
Avengers comes out, maybe they have to go back to get the old classics back, you know, get the band back together for one more, you know, final
Right.
battle royale with some, you know, beefy Galactus or something like that. But, you know, in regards to the MCU, it definitely needs to move forward. Um,
They got plenty to work with anyway. They don't have to go back right now, so they've got plenty of things in the woodwork. So, with
and
Loki coming out, and then you've got you got to finish up with Black Widow too. And then you've got the Young Avengers all over the place now,
sure.
and we'll talk about that with WandaVision too. So.
And that's so far later, like down the timeline. We don't want to go down that route. We could talk everybody's heads off all night long on that.
Sure.
But speaking of WandaVision, that's actually the next thing that we're going to move to in this segment. Since we're on the topic of MCU, I know
The MCU.
you didn't like it too much.
Yeah. Okay, so you know how people Dark World, Thor, right? That's in their bottom 5. You got Ant-Man and the Wasp. I like all of them. Don't get me wrong, it's all MCU. But I just don't think I'm going to go back and watch WandaVision. I'll go back and watch, like, Thor the first. Actually, Thor the first one arguably is in the bottom 5 too, I guess. I don't know. But I don't know. I just, with WandaVision, I like the Vision part where he, I don't want to go into spoilers yet, but just overall review, I just, the Agatha, she's not. I mean, wait, can I go out with spoilers yet, or no?
Yeah, hold on. We're going to spoil the crap out of this. If you haven't seen WandaVision yet, go and watch WandaVision. Go ahead.
Right. Okay. When Vision fights himself in the last episode, that was super cool. I think that was amazing. And then they don't even fight each other. Towards the end, they're going intellect to intellect. What they're trying to understand each other. The Vision in the hex is trying to make the silver white Vision understand, like, hey, we're the same, and then shares the information about the backstory, and then eventually he leaves. But Agatha, the witch or whatever, man, that is a villain. I'm just like, man, it's another weak villain. Besides Thanos, Loki, there's some other, Abomination was okay, and it's just like, man, come on, let's get a badass villain. But I guess they want to save all the badass villains for, like, the big movies, like Infinity War, Endgame, and stuff like that. So I just didn't think Agatha was all that cracked up to be. I don't know. I'm just not into witch stuff, I guess. You know what I mean? And then Elizabeth Olsen's fantastic. I think she does a great job. I do like the fact they went into TV shows and then explained it at the end. Like, why does she change the way she talks? Like, she sounds Sokovian, then she sounds American. Well, it's because she was learning English through watching American television shows. You know what I mean? So I thought that was pretty neat how they talked about that. I don't think I enjoyed the end of it just because I was sick with COVID and gout and all that stuff we talked about already so many times.
You gotta
So
watch
I
it,
felt
though.
like episode 8, yeah, probably watch it. No, I will not yet. No, episode 8 just felt like it was forced for me. You know, oh, gotta go through this backstory and all this stuff. At least I understand it now. So I appreciate that part.
Mhm.
But then I do feel like I was forced. So I don't know. I give it 7 out of 10. It's okay, like 6 out of 10, something like that.
And like we will do every so often, I am so far on the other side of the fence of this thing.
That's fine.
In regards to you.
That's fine.
This was 4.5 hours of. It was a 4.5 hour movie. That,
Yes, I
to
agree.
be honest, if you could put that together into a movie, it would be too long. I do agree with you on the Agatha thing. We were all waiting for the huge reveal with her connections to Mephisto, which basically is MCU's devil. We wanted this big, grandiose bad guy. People are forgetting a lot that Marvel slow rolls a lot of their big bad guys, especially on the scale of Mephisto, at an immense rate. You forget, Thanos was introduced in, 2012, 2011? And it took him a decade, or 2/3 of a decade to finally come out of his hidey hole and show how ridiculously badass he was.
To challenge them is to court death.
And
then he turns around.
I even
smiles.
fell in that. I fell in that black hole myself, where I was like, "Oh my gosh, please bring me Mephisto." When they announced Agatha, I was like, "Okay." And again, I will proudly stand on this moniker that I am an MCU apologist a lot. I will find any which way to be able to try to convince a jury of my peers to say, okay, this is not as bad as you're thinking it is. I don't think it's that far down the totem pole when you're putting it in regards to like the original Ant-Man and Thor Dark World.
Dark
Thor
World.
I like Dark World a little more than that. But the fact that they put in the time to break apart not just like the golden age of sitcoms, you know, each episode could stand alone on its own 2 feet without, you know, having to, oh, I need this episode to make this episode make sense. There were so many Easter eggs in this show that kind of pulled at your heartstrings, especially if you were a comic book reader. If you knew everything about the House of M, you were just waiting for like, oh god, she's gonna say it. When is she gonna say? Is she gonna say mutants? No mutants? What's gonna happen? Like, you really, really wanted that. But again, it was all about the cloak and daggers of everything. You know, it basically was the plot of the entire show was that they just pull this wool over your eyes, and the bad guy is literally right there in front of you, just like, you know, befriending Wanda. I thought it was
well.
cool.
I'll say that I liked the peak of my interest was like exploded when she opened the door, and it was Quicksilver from the X-Men films recently.
Oh my gosh!
That was like, I was like, oh my gosh, this
My
is great.
jaw blew wide open, and I was like, oh gosh, multiverse, oh gosh. Where are the other X-Men at? Where's Hugh Jackman? Get him on the line.
It showed the back of his head. I was like, no way. Aaron Taylor, what? He's back? How is he still alive? And then all of a sudden you saw his face, like, oh, that's the good Quicksilver.
Oh, I know. Isn't that... you know, Aaron Taylor wasn't that bad. He just...
Yeah, I know, of course.
Did, like, you know, Fox put this Quicksilver on such a high pedestal, especially the kitchen scene and the Xavier School for the Gifted scene, just like, you know...
Oh, you didn't see that coming?
You know, it is what it is. I mean, they made reference of it, you know, like, she's like, I use this guy because your other brother's, you know, full of holes and he's a whole different country. So they, like, you know, close that plot hole up right away. I will give you that the entire reveal of who Ralph was kind of fell flat for me when it just happened to be this like, and his last name happened to be Boner. Okay, you know, come on, like you've had people like drooling for Friday mornings for the past 9 weeks, and that is the thing that you land on, which is, again, I'm an apologist. I didn't like that, but I understand how this series is the setup to the Doctor Strange Madness of the Multiverse movie that comes out in a whole year from now. Oh, I can't wait
It's
to
also
review
the
that.
setup for Rambo.
What?
Rambo, the chick, the black chick that I forgot what her name is in the comics, but she's a superhero now.
God.
She got her powers from the Hex.
All
What
I
are you
thought was
talking about?
Sylvester Stallone. I'm like, Rambo?
I knew it, you'd think
Monica
that.
Rambo, yeah, Photon.
Yeah. Monica Rambo,
she
my bad. I
is
should have said Monica.
ridiculously more powerful than a lot of people realize, and the fact that she's going up to she's been beckoned by Nick Fury up to the stars
By the Skrull.
by the Skrull, who in this universe are good. That's gonna be cool to see, and you know, hopefully she'll show up in Captain Marvel and such. But you know, we're not gonna agree on everything. I thought WandaVision was great. It was something to look forward to every week for me.
And maybe it's my fault. Maybe because I've seen so many movies, Thor Ragnarok, like lately, Thor Ragnarok, Infinity War,
Yeah.
Endgame, even Spider-Man, Far From Home.
Mm-hmm.
Like those are just jam-packed with a lot of just whoa.
Yeah.
And this one's just a slow pace. Okay, let's get there. Holy crap! It's Quicksilver from X-Men. Okay, let's go. Oh man, I'm gonna have to go to. I have to recall her past. Great. And then finally, oh Agatha. Great.
It
That's
can't
not a
be
big
shooting like you have to set up storyline eventually. You have
Right,
to
exactly.
You have to throttle down before you throttle back up, in my opinion.
Right.
Or else if you're
Right.
constantly like pedal to the metal, the efficacy just like comes at you and you just become numb to it. And so
And
you
I'll
have
give
to,
you a
like,
perfect example. Ant-Man and the Wasp. A lot of people hate that movie. I like it. And not the only reason. And the thing is, that sets up the quantum realm.
Oh yeah.
That's how you go back in time to get the freaking stones. You know what I'm saying?
I mean,
so anyway, go ahead.
That's where the Fantastic Four are probably residing right now, along with the High Evolutionary. Let's go back really quick to the android fight between the two Visions.
Oh, yes. Go ahead.
That was probably one of the most unique ways to put two OP characters in a battle against each other, and it was a battle of wits, a battle of theories, and
I thought it was a callback to Age of Ultron, where at the end, where Vision's talking to Ultron.
It is. It totally is. Where these guys could literally beat each other into a pulp and make a crater out of New Jersey. But instead, they go back to an old, an old story of Theseus's boat, and the idea that like if you take apart the boat but put it back together, is it the same boat essentially? And so the fact that he's made Vision realize that he is Vision, and it's pretty much put a paradox on what his mission was, and was to destroy Vision.
Mm-hmm.
It made him like, I don't know, I guess it made him self-aware, you know, like Skynet, I don't know. But he...
Oh my gosh, I was thinking that just now. Terminator 3, when she hacks Arnold in Terminator 3.
Yeah, and so White Vision leaves, you know, and he's going to end up somewhere. I'm sorry. Like, I refuse to believe that someone as talented as Paul Bettany is going to leave this universe cold turkey.
No.
After doing such a great job. Nope, he isn't, or nope, he will be back.
He is not leaving.
Okay.
He's not leaving.
Okay. Yeah. That was... Okay.
He actually has a funny story before he worked with 2008's Iron Man.
Okay.
He was down. Like, he didn't have much work to do. But then all of a sudden he was in that. Then he was in the movie Priest, which is eh. And then all of a sudden he's Jarvis for a long time. Then becomes Vision. So he loves this part. He's not going to give it up. He's not going to walk away. They need him. He needs to stay. He's like one of the originals now.
I just remember him as the naked guy from
in Knight's Tale.
Knight's Tale.
Yeah,
that's like the only place like I really remember that dude.
Right.
I'm like, well, I've seen that dude's rare behind. So, but yeah, again, like just to close off this section, you give it a 7 out of 10. I'd probably give it like an 8, maybe an 8.5.
8.5.
If it had the super reveal of like Mephisto pulling all the strings at this thing and slowly directing course of the MCU towards mutants, towards the House of M kind of parallel story. We didn't even talk about the boys, the two twins of Wanda.
Mm-hmm.
Like, spoilers again. If you haven't watched this, you need to watch this. But at the very, very, very tail end, obviously with her reality kind of wrapping up, and she's like reversing everything because she's now no longer underneath the persuasions or whatever of Agatha. She's pretty much become the Scarlet Witch, and absorbing all energies of not just Agatha, but the witches that Agatha had absorbed. And she, along with that reality, she created Vision because of the radiation that was in her from the Mind Stone.
Right.
She also created her sons. And so, good Lord, my coworker came up to me and talked to me about this, and I nearly started weeping at work because, like, just the idea of like, yep, they tucked him in the bed, and you knew that as soon as that door closed, it was like they were going to vanish into nothingness. But there was a twist in there that she's in the mountains, and she is now studying the Darkhold, the really really bad book of magic, basically. And she's actually proving that she's more powerful than the Sorcerer Supreme. Like the Sorcerer, the way they explain it in Doctor Strange is that the way for the Sorcerer for Doctor Strange to be able to do what he did and study all those books while on the astral plane is that he had to be like in a state of like asleep. Well, Scarlet Witch, she's just walking around drinking her tea, making coffee, and like her other self is in the other room completely going to town and studying all the spells and like all the books or whatever, and she hears the voices of her boys. So the theory of Mephisto, like obviously in the books Mephisto had utilized his souls in creating those two kids, and it didn't go down well with Wanda, but they're still out there, and so we're probably going to see them in Doctor Strange Multiverse of Madness. So
I thought it was confirmed too that Scarlet Witch will be in.
Oh no, she's confirmed, but like we're trying to now sort out, well, what's the madness all about? I think it's going to be her search for her two sons. So, but that is the WandaVision review. The WandaVision review. We got another MCU property, really, really, really quick. It's the Marvel Studio Legends review. Short snippets of it's basically like a character analysis of each of these characters from WandaVision and from Falcon and Winter Soldier. When you brought that up, I was like, maybe I should watch this thing today. And I looked at it or whatever, and I kind of like it. It's
doesn't take you long to watch it either.
It's an amuse-bouche to what's about to occur with all the properties that are going to start to come out this year. You had obviously the WandaVision characters. I really, really wish they brought up Monica Rambeau. They didn't do that. It was just Wanda and
Well,
Vision.
no, because they couldn't. They couldn't because. Are you talking about Legends, right?
Yeah,
Where they
yeah.
talk about each
I guess she's
character?
not
Just
a
wanna make sure.
legend. Yeah, you're right.
She's not a legend because she's not in any type of movies besides when she was the
That's
little
right.
kid
That's right.
in,
That's,
in
that's
Captain
fair.
Marvel. So,
Um,
so basically, what the idea is with Legends, I think, is that it's for your regular moviegoers that see the movie once and then maybe see it one time on Disney Plus.
yeah.
Otherwise, with us, we probably watch it. We can watch these movies repetitively over and over again. Just love the MCU. We're
Yeah.
comic, nerds. You more than me, of course, but because you actually have a lot of these comics. But I like it because it's a refresher. I can watch it real quick, and then I don't have to watch the whole movie of Civil War or Age of Ultron or whatever the case may be.
Sure.
And it gets me excited to watch the new series coming out. So
Definitely. Again, it's 6 minutes a pop. You have
Yep.
Wanda and you have Vision, and then from Falcon Winter Soldier, you have Falcon, you have Winter Soldier, you have Baron Zemo, which
And-
I am so stoked to see what that guy does. Daniel Bruhl is an awesome actor. I watched him in Glorious Bastards, and he was really, really good there. He was really, really good as Baron Zemo in Age of Ultron. And the character himself is very nefarious about slipping his way into plans that, it's not about the plan that's in front of you. It's not about the plan that's behind you. It's about the plan that, encompasses everything. And that's how he was able to get all the characters fighting each other. Namely Captain America and Iron Man and Winter Soldier in that epic handicap battle at the very end of Civil War. There's also Sharon Carter,
Yep.
Peggy Carter's niece. And so let me ask you a question. This actually came up in a conversation with my wife, and I was thinking about it. So I was watching the
I
Sharon
know where
Carter
this is
piece.
going. Go ahead. Hmm.
Did she make out with her uncle?
Yes,
Like, I asked her that,
in
and she's
Civil
like,
War.
and I'm like, so if that's her aunt, and he goes back and Steve Rogers goes back in time, marries Peggy, and I'm like, so did she know, I guess, that, or maybe she was like, oh, it's a man that looks kind of like my uncle, but it's not my uncle or whatever. I don't know. Like, I'm interested to see if they ever, pull back the curtain on, like, was his name like Steve Rogers? Because you would think like a person who was part of S.H.I.E.L.D. would be privy to that, and it is what it is. It was just a moment that they had in Infinity War. But,
Well, I mean, if you want me to get really like nerdy with the timeline, okay?
okay.
All of this stuff
Go ahead.
happens in our reality, right? All this happens in reality, okay? He goes back in time and never comes back. That's the same Captain America. So he's just positioned. He goes back in time and stays there.
Yeah.
He lives his life out and probably sees Sharon
Yeah.
Carter as the little girl later on down the road. So he probably does have some thoughts like, hey, now I think about it, I think I made out with you
Yeah.
in the future.
Yeah.
But I'm pretty sure he's not going to bring that up. But
yeah.
he's reliving the same reality, but nothing changes our reality. He's basically
No.
creating a whole nother timeline.
No, my wife.
I guess.
My wife brought that up. It was like when they made out behind the car. That was young Steve Rogers. So
Right.
literally, that happened all before everything. At least, particularly in his timeline bubble or whatever.
But does he tell Peggy,
I
hey, I made out with
Hey,
your
man.
future niece? I'm just letting you know.
Some things
we
are
cool?
better left unsaid. Just saying.
Right. What happens in the future stays in the future.
But yeah, so that is our MCU more than a minute review of Falcon, Winter Soldier, WandaVision, and Marvel Studios Legends. You can watch all those. Well, starting tomorrow, you can watch all of those, including the first episode of Falcon, Winter Soldier on Disney Plus.
Can't wait.
I cannot
Can't
wait either. Actually, it'd be today because it would be Friday that you guys would be listening to
I
this.
really like Falcon. Just a brief, 30 seconds. I really like Falcon right from the beginning. Like his character is just a badass. Like those two guns he pulls out like really quick to shoot the helicopter thing in Winter Soldier. It's just that scene is like it gives me goosebumps. I'm getting goosebumps right now because it's so He's just a cool character, the cool suit. I know you got Iron Man, you got War Machine, you got Captain America, you got all that cool stuff. But him, I don't know. He's just a regular guy with this badass suit. I know, just like Iron Man, but it's
Sure.
just different. I don't know.
No,
Go
man.
ahead.
No, totally. Yeah, that's our MCU more than a minute. Moving to the next segment. Just a little brief thing because, again, the timing of when we are starting to do this. The Oscars nominations came in this week. We don't really go
And the
too
Oscar
much.
goes to Marissa Tomei.
We don't really go too much into Oscar movies. I was trying to reflect on like which of the like movies that you and me really watch are Oscar were Oscar eligible. I know Joker was last year. That was really good. Um, Return of the King obviously won. Jurassic Park was nominated for a whole bunch of stuff. Black
They
Panther.
do move in herds. Oh yeah, that was a good one.
Black Panther. Um, God rest Chadwick Boseman. Um, it's just
Sucks.
I really hate that these movies like all these actors who pour their stinking lives into movies such as the action flicks, the larger than life superhero movies, the sci-fi movies or whatever. Um, they tend
Historical
to
heroes.
fight. Funny enough, they tend to fight this huge uphill battle to get the recognition that is due to them. And I get, there is something to like, being able to emote or whatever when you're in that moment or whatever. And that's why the more dramatic films, the quieter, smaller movies, with deep, richer stories, I'll say that,
Right.
tend to pull the golden figures. But man, how many billions and trillions of dollars are being poured into the summer blockbusters, the big sci-fi movies that you and I are probably going to be diving into in the weeks and months to come. It's just a shame. Like I get that. Actually I don't get it. It's not fair. Like I don't know if there's any way around it. Like yes, they get the best. The best cinematography sometimes, and they get like the technical accolades that they obviously blow away with, and it seems like now like Pixar just sweeping house with all of the best animated cartoon movie awards. It seems like the last decade, but I do want to read this list really quick. These are the Oscars for this year. I need to know if you've heard of any of these movies. Okay?
Here we go.
The Father.
Nope.
You didn't hear me right. I didn't say Godfather. The Father. Okay, so you haven't heard
Of. No.
Judas and the Black Messiah.
I have heard of that.
Okay.
I have heard of that. I've not seen it. I've heard of it. Yes.
I want to see that movie. I think that was on the Netflix. Mank.
Mank?
Mank. Not Monk from USA. Mank.
Oh, okay. I thought it was talking about the USA series. So, is it about a Cuban guy or something?
Nice. It's actually about a screenwriter's trials and finishing up the screenwrite for Citizen Kane. I'm guessing that's a no, right?
Absolute no.
All right, Minari.
I'm sorry. Is that the original gaming system? No, that's not it.
Minari.
Atari? No.
Oh, nice. Nice. Very good. Nomadland.
I've heard of that movie. I have no idea what it's about, but I've heard the name.
Okay. Promising Young Woman.
Not at all. No, absolutely not. Have you heard of these either? Too,
I've heard.
brother?
I've actually heard. I mean, my ear is more to the ground in regards to movies like this because I don't know what it is about me. I almost treat movies, Oscar movies, this time of year, kind of like fantasy football where it's like, okay, I have got to back one movie before the Oscars. Like, which ones am I going to watch? Between now and April 25th.
And then you get on FanDuel and go ahead and pick your top.
I have to draft Mank in the first round. No.
Best sound, best picture, like those are your like players.
Yeah, exactly. All right, Sound of Metal.
Heavy Metal. I've heard of that one. The anime.
Nope.
No.
And then last but not least, The Trial of the Chicago 7.
No. Sorry, no. That's
okay.
A big. Those are all of them.
Yep. These are for the best picture. There's several.
Okay.
There's more categories, but I did not want to dive into that, not knowing how long we were going to be running tonight. Just wanted to see
Absolutely.
if you knew what was up for best picture.
Yeah. Yeah, I think I'm pretty much in superhero movies, action films, recycled actors that are trying to be still action heroes, you know what I mean? That type of thing, I guess. Yeah. I don't know.
Now, we'll go into what we, as the movie review, God, that just keeps slipping up.
Movie review.
The movie review patrons, as the leaders of the ship here, we are going to go into what we're going to be coming out with in the next few weeks and months. But one thing that I do want to incorporate as a weekly tradition and near the end of our show is we're gonna bring to you the famous birthdays that matter to us.
Birthday.
And we have to say happy birthday. Yesterday was St. Patty's Day, March 17th. And we say happy birthday to John Boyega from Star Wars and Pacific Rim. You said you had to say something about John Boyega earlier?
Yeah, in Force Awakens, and maybe all of the Star Wars movies and every movie he's in, he's got to breathe heavily just to like... remember when he crashes down on that desert planet Jakku, or whatever? He's like, bro, that's just, he's like overacting. I don't know, maybe because that was one of his biggest like parts, like to start off with. But and then he did it in Pacific Rim Uprising. I actually like that movie. A lot of people gave it crap. I like that stuff because I'm a kaiju fan, which we'll go over later on in movie reviews. But yeah, I just wanted to say that because he's a heavy breather. Like he overacts like when he's tired. I don't know.
It's a weird thing to attack John Boyega about.
Next time you
his
watch
heavy breathing, he may be asthmatic. Don't you realize that, my friend?
No, well, I'm a fat dude and I breathe heavy too. But anyway, you should watch Force Awakens again, which you can on Disney Plus. When he crashes down and he's like he's just like, bro. I mean, just breathe, bro. It's
Pay attention. He's a heavy breather.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's all I have to say. Otherwise, he's all right.
Another March 17th birthday. Happy birthday, Kurt Russell from Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 2, Escape from New York and L.A. And
I get him confused with Patrick Swayze a lot, just letting you know.
I think my favorite movie with him is The Thing.
The Thing from Fantastic Four? Or
No. The horror
I know,
movie,
I'm just kidding.
The Thing that
I actually played that's The Thing on PS2 back in the day. Then that's a scary game.
Yeah. No, The Thing is... I watch it every Halloween. We're going to watch that together this year. That may be the one movie. It's so good. It's
just not my thing. Okay? No.
And I'll say this. Because it's an older movie, it's not something that, like, will make you, like, think about your existential existence or the idea that, like, there's a black figure in the corner or whatever. It's a sci-fi scary movie. And, I think the world of that movie. Finally, March 17th birthday, Alexandra Daddario from San Andreas.
The video game.
She was in True Detective as well. She's lovely. I follow her on Instagram. She's hilarious.
Is she are you talking about from the video game GTA San Andreas? Or...
No, bro. We're talking
I
movies,
know, I'm just kidding. The one with The
man.
Rock. The Rock. I know, I'm just kidding. The Rock. I know.
And she was in. Was she in Baywatch?
Uh,
She was in the new
Which
Baywatch,
one?
I thought.
the original or the?
The new one. My goodness
There's like
gracious.
two probably.
Tomorrow
Let me
or
look her
today,
up
depending
real
on
quick.
tomorrow or today, depending on when you hear this, March 19th, we wish a very, very happy birthday to one of my favorite actors and my favorite Christmas movies of all time.
Yippee-ki-yay.
Yippee-ki-yay, MF. Bruce Willis, the leading protagonist of Die Hard and Fifth Element. Man, Fifth Element.
Ooh,
Fifth
I
Element.
bet the English version is good.
He was also in Disney. Did you ever see Disney the Kid?
No.
He was in that movie. He was in Sixth Sense. He was in The Jackal. Gosh, when I saw him like blonde in The Jackal, it was like, that's Bruce Willis, huh? Okay.
Man, so I always forget this movie. He's got dual pistols. He's shooting them like crazy. He's like a Western kind of, but it's not. It got Christopher Walken in it. Oh, what's that movie?
Wild Wild
It's
West.
with Bruce Willis in it. Wild Wild West. Absolutely not. But anyway, that's a great movie.
Christopher
I forgot.
Walken.
Yeah.
Huh.
The same guy who says, I got a fever. I need more cowbell. That guy. Anyway, I'll figure it out.
Don't remember.
I should have looked it up before the podcast. Yeah.
March 20th, we say happy birthday to Holly Hunter. She was the voice of. She was in The Incredibles. She voiced Elastigirl, and she was also in Batman vs Superman.
She was the senator that got killed by.
Oh boy, she got killed.
Yeah,
and everyone in that room. Ugh, that was a rough way to go.
Lex Luthor. That's right. Yeah, there we go. And then Lex Luthor even put like a jar of piss. He called it Grandma's tea, or whatever. That's like a line in there somewhere where what she says to him.
Yeah.
And yeah, it was pretty good.
Yeah. No, it was
pretty messed up.
It was an.
Did you see the ultimate edition the uncut edition of the Batman vs Superman?
Yes.
It's better than the theatrical. Oh god,
Yes.
it's so great because
Yes.
it has a whole bunch of scenes that made more sense. As part of the story.
Yeah.
It was awesome. It was awesome. Why are the after things? We're gonna watch Snyder's cut of Justice League later, but why are they just so much better? I can't wait for Snyder's cut of Justice League, which is already out, by the way. We're gonna watch it. So
Yeah, we will watch that, and that's actually what we were going to be doing next week. Thanks, brother. Finally, in birthdays, Lily Collins. Her birthday's
the
on March
daughter
18th.
of Phil Collins.
She is the daughter of Phil Collins. She was in Mirror Mirror, and she was also the daughter on Blind Side.
Blind Side. Mm-hmm.
She's a treat. So she's a really, really good actress. And that is our birthdays of this week. We will have more birthdays next week because that's when people are born. So, but that is our first podcast movie review podcast ever. We've got a lot more in store for you guys coming in the next coming up weeks. As my brother alluded to a few minutes ago, next week we are going to have our movie review of the Snyder Cut, the 4-hour epic Snyder Cut.
Oh, it's gonna be beautiful.
Justice
Better than Endgame.
League.
Watch.
Don't you dare. Don't make me. I didn't want to. I will start putting buzzers and farts on my stream deck for moments like
I'll
this.
do it for you. Burn.
Oh
Burn.
my gosh! Don't you dare! No, I watched I watched Justice League actually for the first time a couple of days ago, and I try to practice that I should not knock things until I try it. And I apologize to everyone who I was like, you know what, I'm going to wait on Justice League a little bit. That movie was better than what I gave it credit for.
Man, that means you should have watched Suicide Squad first, because there's some nods that leads to Justice League. It actually does. I'm just saying.
No, I understand that. In regards to the original theatrical release from Justice League. I understand wholeheartedly the criticisms that are attached to that movie in regards to its pace, in regards to how it handles its characters. What's up, Sturm? How's it going, buddy? Welcome to the movie review. I'm gonna get that eventually, man.
Movie review.
And I do have this. It's funny enough how Sturm is on here, and I was actually just thinking of that. We were talking about what we're going to be talking about in the upcoming weeks and months and stuff like that. Obviously, next week we've got the Snyder's Cut of Justice League. We are definitely going to be diving into a lot more movie stuff. It's us. This is me and my brother. We're all about the MCU. We're all about DC. We like Pixar. We may have a
Lord
Pixar versus DreamWorks. Speaking to Sturm, we are going to do a dive into Lord of the Rings. I promised you that I would watch the movie with you. I don't know if all three of them are warranted, but
God bless.
Oh my gosh, 14 hours of my life. That's a lot of movie watching. I've watched them before.
We're doing The Hobbit too, or?
Oh God, The Hobbit. Great book. I don't know if that third movie was warranted, but no, we're going to be going into that. There's a whole bunch of trilogies that we would love to go into. So many styles of movies, so many subjects of movies that we are going to dive into as the weeks and months come along. And heck, with Hollywood opening up their doors, and it seems like all the movie theaters are going to start, reigniting their popcorn machines and their soda fountains.
Let's do it.
All the movies are going to start coming through the woodwork again. It seems. I miss the movie. Do you miss the movie theater? I'm just curious.
I like the convenience of being at home and watching. To be honest, love convenience.
I do love the convenience of watching at home.
But then again, I do like the big screen and just me and my wife.
The
while
fact that
watches my son.
Yeah, the fact that I can watch something literally at right now, I don't have to get out. I don't have to get clean or whatever. I don't have to take a shower. I don't have to fork over $24.
Oh yeah.
I literally can just go to HBO Max and then boom, let's watch Snyder's Cut right now. Only 9 hours. I don't mind. Honestly, I really don't mind watching either. I can watch long movies all the live long day. I love
they have a troll.
But I do miss there was something when I watched. I think one of the last movies I watched in the theaters was Endgame, and it's just being surrounded by like-minded individuals or people who are novices to whatever is showcasing on the big screen, and just having that weird feeling that everyone in that theater, there's over 100 people that are feeling and reacting and oohing and eyeing and laughing.
Right. I totally agree.
One of those instances when the big reveal with Fat Thor. I heard this lady, she was behind me. She's like, "What happened to my baby?"
Oh.
and she was either with her husband or boyfriend, and he lost it. He was like, "Ah."
Well, I'm glad you asked that question. I kind of do, because remember we went together and watched Infinity War, you and I, and then our wives.
Yeah.
And remember at the end, spoiler alert if you haven't seen Infinity War, when Spider-Man disappears into dust.
Yeah.
Man, did you hear the crowd? Everyone was in tears.
Yeah, I was in that movie when Iron Man died.
Oh, and Endgame, yeah.
Just both of them was just sheer. You will not have a moment when you were watching the first 10 minutes of Pixar's Up. Than when you're watching it in the theater, and all of a sudden you're hearing kids going, "Mommy, what's wrong?" And moms are just moms and dads alike are just completely bawling, and these kids are like, "What's going on? We don't know what's going on." And it's just
I'd be that tough dad. Let's get out of here.
I know, right? I was like, well, we were watching the wrong movie. Let's go watch Poltergeist or something like that.
Let's go watch Skyfall.
Yeah. But yeah, no, like I'm looking forward to the movie theaters opening up again. You know, like obviously our sons are not really quite at that age where they'll kind of sit down and watch a whole movie. I don't know, yours might be, mine definitely is not, unless it's the movie he wants to see.
It's in and out, to be honest. Still, I
yeah,
mean, he'll
same
sit there and watch like the fight scenes with the Civil
Totally.
War and
Totally.
like Spider-Man stuff like that.
Totally, same here, same exact thing.
Right.
Yeah, we're gonna be going over that. We're gonna have some cool segments coming up around the bend when we get to putting these packages together. We're gonna have some quiz shows that we're gonna incorporate the live audience on the chat who wants to participate into it. We've got a lot of stuff. I mean, it's movies. We love movies as equally as much as like I love a lot of my other hobbies. Actually, even more. It could be tops in regards to like, you know, am I gonna watch this? Like, okay, Sophie's Choice. You get to watch, and you've never seen it before, the first game of the Dallas Cowboys season this year, or Godzilla,
Which Godzilla?
the new one.
Which one? The newest one coming out?
The one coming on in March 31st.
Oh, Godzilla versus Kong.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. I'm wearing your. You know, I am a fan, but
Challenger.
Godzilla comes first. I'm sorry.
And yeah, I mean, I feel the same way. Like no, and also this is with the impetus that like knowing that
I can get the box
score.
score. Okay.
Yeah. I'll just DVR the Cowboy game.
Yeah.
That's
Right.
one movie. Gosh, as much as I'm really looking forward to seeing it at home. Oh my gosh, to see it on a screen that's 3 stories tall by 5 stories, and you're just like, yep, that's the scale of Godzilla. Like, it's ridiculous. Like, and you know, I won't get to partake in that at least until the pandemic is all over with and stuff like that. So,
Hey, well, the good thing is we enjoyed Godzilla King of the Monsters in 2019. We got to see that.
sure.
That was another enjoyable thing
Yeah.
with being at a theater. You know, watching King Ghidorah come out of the ice and all of
Mhm.
a sudden beat the crap out of Godzilla, and it was just amazing. I'm glad I was able to see it with you, being a fellow Godzilla fan. You're my brother too, and it brought back so many memories of us watching it on VHS, the older movies from the Showa era. So.
Well, that is us for tonight for the first episode of the movie review. For my co-host, Joshua Henderson, I am Charlie Zarzuela. I can't think of the outro.
You can come check me out at Josh Hizzle 2323. I've got my own Twitch channel, play some video games.
Oh my
Get
god!
chat about movies there too.
Yeah, see me on my current channel. I'm streaming video games, and we're gonna be streaming this every week. But yeah, from the great land of Zamunda, he is Joshua Henderson, and I am Charlie Zarzuela. We are the Movie Review.
Let's do it.